Hello and welcome back to your journey learning Python programming. In this video, we will learn how can we connect our Python with the Excel, with Microsoft Excel. So let's start and learn with the examples. So for that, we are using OpenPy Excel library. This library is used to work with the Excel. So first we import that, and if you don't have this library installed, go to the terminal. Look at my mouse pointer, go to the terminal and write the command pip install and open py in Excel. So I'm not writing enter here because already this library is installed in my terminal, in my this Python. So you just run this command to install. If you want to add any library, it's not pre-installed, so you just write here, again ttk. We will learn in GUI series ttk bootstrap. So you can add here, right? So this command is just execute in the terminal. Back to our examples. Now, back to our examples here. So we are using OpenPy Excel. To open the file, to open the file, we have a command OpenPy Excel. It's basically it's a library name dot load workbook. And we know that workbook, that means Excel file. Excel file is a collection of a sheet. And the collection of sheet is called workbook. So command is load underscore workbook and file name. And the precondition is that this file must be already in this location. You can assign here a location like a specific. By default, what I'm doing here, I'm just creating already the same file in my this current location. So how can I check my this current location? Right click, open it, explore. And here this Excel folder, I already create a right click new an Excel file. Right click new an Excel file, give the particular name. So my file name is data. So I already create a data.excel file. Let me remove everything from here and save it. Back to our program. So basically precondition is that this file must be exist in your default location. If your file is not at the default location, just mention the entire path. Whenever it's your file is, so you just mention the entire path. So my file is located in the same directory. In this video record function folders. Now, so basically what happened is WB stand for workbook. So first I load my workbook and I active my sheet. By default, first sheet is active. By default, my first sheet active. If you want to active another sheet, you just mention the name here. So my workbook dot active. So now I have a sheet. I have a sheet. We see that this entire Excel file is a workbook. This entire Excel, this is my workbook. This is my workbook and this call a sheet. By default, this call a sheet. So you see my mouse pointer, I have only the one sheet. I tell open this workbook and active this sheet. Now, back to the code. And now this sheet dot cell. So there is so many cells and I cell row 1 and column 1. One more time, let me open. Basically row and column. If you are new in Excel, this called a row. A, B, C, D is a row. 1, 2, 3, this call a, sorry, A, B, C is a column. And 1, 2, 3, this all is a row. One more time. A, B, C, this all is a row. 1, 2, 3, this column. Row. So this column cell. This column cell. It's my B3 cell. This is A1 cell. So what happened? This is my first row and first column. And here if I am, it's my first, second and third column and third row. What about the second row and second column and sixth row? Let's explain the same things here. If I want to write data in first cell, so that means row 1, column 1. And basically row 1 and column 1. So this is my address, name is now C1. I assign this address to my C1 and I say my C1 dot value is 101. And already I show you in the Excel sheet B2. B is my column, 2 is my row. And I say 102. So whatever file I'm opening here, okay, the same path, the same things you have to save. Don't forget to save this, else your data will vanish. Okay, it's not saved, and when you open Excel file, it's empty. Okay, so don't forget to save your workbook. So whatever your workbook need, WB is my variable name, save it. Let's run this. Command successfully run. Open the data file. Okay, in first row and first column, first row and first column is 111. Second column and second row, the data is B2 is 102. Okay, let's add your, but before you are writing, must close your Excel file. Copy paste. Here I'm using a C2. Okay, and now I'm using here, I want to print the data very next. So next, that means row must be true, column remain same. The here value is maybe Python, and here I want to print Excel. Let's right click and run. Open the Excel file. See, in A2, that means first column, second row. First column, second row, the data is Python. The data is Python. And Excel is C2. In my C2. So this is two way you can read and write the data using maybe the cell address or using the row and column. Okay, so this two way you can use this value. Okay, for read and writing, I show you this example for the read. So you can specify the cell using row and column, and you can specify the cell address using C2. Okay, that means column name in the alphabets and the row in numeric. Right? Now, let's read the data. The same things happen. Okay, open the load workbook, open the sheet. This time I'm using different name for exam purpose. Okay, here I'm using WB workbook and sheet. I'm using workbook object and sheet object. Okay, workbook object and sheet object. So open the file, load the file again. So which file you want to read the data? Okay, mention it. Now I'm reading. You can see here, I'm reading the data from row 1 and column 1. Okay, row 1 and column 1. What is the data in row 1 and column 1? 101. Let's check. Right click, run, and we are printing. Yeah, it's 101. Correct. Now, right click and then it's a Python. Yes, it's perfect. Okay. So now what happened? Cell, row and column dot value. Okay, dot value. What happened we are doing here? Okay, we are just assigning row and column to particular that variable, and this is variable dot value. Okay, we are basically doing here the same things. Row and column of particular sheet dot value. It's read the data from it, and now you can assign in some variables and you print here. I'm directly print this data in the print statement. Okay, so this is basic fundamental knowledge about how can we read and write data in Excel files. This is it for this video. Keep learning, keep practicing. See you in the next session. Bye-bye.